So, for the first time in months, Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner talked to reporters about the disastrous 2023 season for the Yankees. Now, he talked about a bunch of things, and I'll put a link to a video of the interview in the description. But one of the things that he talked about was the payroll for the team. And he said, quote, I do believe that a team shouldn't need a 300 million payroll. The Rangers didn't, the Astros didn't. So Hal Steinbrenner is essentially saying, there's no reason to go above 300 million. You should not have to spend over $300 million to win a World Series. And yeah, that is common sense. You don't need a payroll that high. Yes, a high payroll helps, but even just a payroll above $200 million gives teams ample amounts of money to spend on free agents and build a really competitive team. Now, here's what I don't understand. The Yankees last year had a very high payroll. It was around $290 million. So not that far off from $300 million. That's about one Aaron Hicks worth of money. So the payroll is basically at the point that Hal is saying it shouldn't have to be to win a World Series. And yet, with that amount of money, the Yankees came nowhere close to the World Series. They barely were above 500. Now, who is the main guy who decides how the payroll is spent? Brian Cashman, the Yankees general manager. He ultimately has the big say in who the Yankees acquire, who the Yankees extend. And if he is running a payroll around the amount that Hal Steinbrenner says a payroll shouldn't have to be at, and Cashman isn't even able to get the team to the playoffs this year, how is Hal Steinbrenner not furious at Brian Cashman and putting him on the hot seat right now? Because in that interview, he put Aaron Boone on the hot seat. He put just about every single person in the Yankees organization on the hot seat, saying they're all getting reviewed. But the one person he didn't talk about, and the one person all reports are saying is safe, Brian Cashman, the person responsible for the Yankees' extremely high payroll. I just don't get it. If Hal Steinbrenner truly believes that a payroll should not have to be 300 million to win a World Series, and his general manager spends a payroll near 300 million and can't even make it to the playoffs, how does he not want a new general manager? It just doesn't make that much sense to me. Hal Steinbrenner talked about a bunch of things in his interview with the press. But Brian Cashman, he was safe. And I'm afraid that no changes are really going to happen without Brian Cashman leaving. I think that Brian Cashman is both a good GM and a bad GM. He makes some smart trades, Clay Holmes, Wandy Peralta, Jose Trevino, but at the same time, he makes some disastrous moves, like the Josh Donaldson trade, where it just makes no sense. And after this season, it really is hard to defend Brian Cashman. And yet, Hal Steinbrenner won't even think about firing him. So, the Yankees will have to see what they do this offseason, but hopefully they do spend over that $300 million payroll threshold, because they're going to need to spend a lot of money to win a World Series next season.